Okay, so this is the beginning of our journey of watching Smackdown, Raw, and WWE, and all that kind of good stuff. Um, Obviously, I want to review all the episodes, and then I'll be doing reviews of the pay-per-views and stuff like that. So obviously, stick around if that's something you're interested in. Bit of disclaimer before we start. Obviously, I'm in the UK, so usually when the Smackdowns and the Raws and things start, obviously they're in America, so it starts like 1 o'clock for us over here in the UK. I'm not going to stay up for that, so there are going to be stuff that I probably miss in the in kind of the adverts and things like that. Obviously, I don't get to watch the whole match or anything because that will just be blocked out or whatever. So just bear that in mind. Also, as well as that, I just want to say I don't when I watch it, I don't really care too much about what happens behind the scenes. I don't want to know that, someone isn't there because they've been injured behind the scenes or whatever, or I don't know, just off the top of my head, like a fucking DOI or something like that, right? I don't care too much about that. I like watching WWE just for what it is, which is a story. I think of it a little bit like EastEnders, but with fighting, if you know what EastEnders is, I guess. As I said, I'm not going to be caring too much about that. I'm going to be caring more about kind of the flow of it and how it works into the overall story. For example, obviously I know actually from seeing it online that Fatu, Jacob Fatu is injured, which I'm guessing is why what happens later on in this episode does happen, but I want to see kind of how they progress it within actually watching it on the television. So what we'll do now is we'll just get into it, and I'm just going to do a chronological kind of rundown of everything, my thoughts on things and stuff like that. Again, as I said, if you do enjoy this kind of content, then like, subscribe, show your friends, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, let's get into it. So we start with a opening video package about what happened on Raw. Obviously, if you didn't see it, if you don't know it, I'm going to guess that you've been watching it if you stumble onto this video. But basically what happened is Seth Rollins and his group Division broke up. Voice crack there. Breaker obviously spears him, and it's fantastic and it's amazing, and it also obviously does feel a little bit like, I want to say rushed, but it feels like there could have been so much more done with the story. A lot of the time that we've seen as well with kind of Rollins, he's been with Becky or he's been on his own. He was obviously on his own with the Rhodes thing. With the Rhodes match at Crown Jewel, obviously there was that kind of behind the scenes with the Vision, but especially with the Becky stuff, that was kind of like, oh, Becky's come and rescued him, Becky's going to be part of the Vision, but she wasn't really. It was just to do that kind of, well, at the moment, one-off match with AJ Lee, which again, where's she gone, right? But yeah, it just seems like they should have kind of pushed it more as a group or an overall thing. Maybe a bit more similar to what they're doing with the MFTs. Obviously, if you've seen it at Crown Jewel, I believe it was Crown Jewel, might have been last SmackDown. They did the face-offs and things like that with people, which obviously they got to do again this week. They love just doing the same things, WWE. So yeah, they should have pushed them more stronger, I think, as well. Obviously, they're pushing them as maybe individuals as being really strong. Like, obviously, Breaker's top of the food chain. Bronson's just come off of beating Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman's, Rollins is Rollins. But connected as a group, it just didn't seem that great. But yeah, it was a great opening package just to kind of show everything anyway. Then we come into the ring, and Nick Aldis is standing there. He's announcing the main event for tonight, which will be Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre, a number one contenders match for the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes comes out, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but, well, I'm sure you have. It just takes them ages to say stuff. Like, I understand I'm playing up to the crowd, and I think WWE at the moment is for the live crowd, really. They're not for me, sitting in England watching it, at 10 o'clock in the morning, or even if I stay up and watch it, and I'm kind of like, get on with it, I want to see a bit of story. Not really for the people like us. So yeah, it's great for the crowd and everything, but it just slows down the whole kind of spiel and what he's going to say. And I don't know. But basically, he comes up and he says exactly what you would expect Cody Rhodes to say. He says his kind of business with Seth is done now after the Crown Jewel match, which I guess we kind of expected. Obviously, don't think we're sure what's going to happen with Seth Rollins at the moment. Again, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but people are saying he's injured. Obviously, Breaker. They'll probably go with Breaker as injured him or whatever if they have to do anything. You have also got Punk as number one contender, so maybe that'll go into it somehow. But yeah, he's basically Cody's saying Seth's done and he's going to focus more on his championship and defending his title, which is fantastic. Obviously, after the number one contenders has been scheduled for tonight, so he doesn't know whether he's going to go up against Fatu, Drew. The crowd, obviously, I didn't realise Fatu was from there, but the crowd really want Fatu rather than Drew. But Drew got bigger heat, if that makes sense. They made more noise booing Drew than they did really for Fatu. Makes a bit of sense because Fatu, he's kind of been on and off our screens for a long time, I think, because he's been battling that injury or whatever, but we haven't seen a lot of him to kind of develop a relationship with him, I guess, which I will get on to more because we do see him a little bit later anyway. But yeah, typical Cody Rhodes promo. Wasn't too bad, kind of set us up for the day, which is great. I also want to know if anyone knows if Cody Rhodes' glasses are just for show, because he comes out with the glasses, then just whips them off. Obviously, he doesn't wear them during matches or anything like that, so does he need them? Or is he just doing it to be cool? Next, we get a small little vignette, behind the scenes kind of thing, where we see the MFTs have arrived. Obviously got Solo and everyone like that. And they walk past, it's quite a funny image really, but you've got Rey Fénix just in what looks like a back construction kind of thing. Like I don't know, when I think of WWE doing like photo shoots and stuff, I feel like it should be in like a fancy room, like that's built just for where they're doing the photos and stuff. But it's kind of just they're walking behind this arena that they're in for the week, and Rey Fénix is just taking photos, which I wonder if we will ever see them photos come to life, or maybe we will see photos of him just getting beaten the absolute shit out of, because that is what happens. Solo comes up to him and comes up to the photographer and goes, "Excuse me, mate, it's my turn now. I am here." Ray's like, "What are you on about? I'm doing it." Don't know why he's going up against these Samoans and Tongans, and like I would probably have just said, "Yeah, fine." But yeah, and then he gets absolutely beaten shit out of. So that that kind of goes into what happens later on in the show, which is good, but probably not needed as much. Really, just kind of sets up what we already know, which is the MFTs are kind of badasses. So next we've got Flair and Bliss versus I have to look at my notes because I've got no idea what her name. I'll always forget her name. Sol Ruka and Zarya. Obviously, I know Sol Ruka. I forget Zarya's name. For a women's tag title match. Just 4 women who are fantastic wrestling each other. Basically, Sol Ruka is obviously amazing. She does this thing. It's not. I'm really bad with wrestling moves, but it's like her and Charlotte are in the ring, and they're obviously going around each other and changing hands and all that stuff. And she does like a little cartwheel thing to get out of it, and then does like her surfing thing. And I was like, "You're so fucking cool." So that was great. But just a really good match, to be honest with you. I did wonder where obviously Sol Ruka's speed title was. She doesn't seem to come out with it, or she didn't come out of it. I don't really watch NXT, so I don't know if she does on that. If she does, let me know. But she didn't come out of it here, which makes me again wonder what is the point of that title. I couldn't even tell you who the men's speed champion is. Was it Andrade at some point? Obviously, he's gone now, but yeah, I've got absolutely no idea. but I don't know where that was. But yeah, great match. It felt like Zara and Zolruka were dominating for the most of it. At the end, there was a distraction from Blake Monroe, who was sat in like the, what you call it, ringside. Again, don't really know who she is because I don't watch NXT, but she's distracted. Zolruka gets hit by Charlotte Flair in the leg. After a bit more of a kerfuffle, I think Charlotte's just hitting her leg a little bit more. She puts her into the figure eight. Zolruka taps out, and Charlotte Flair and Bliss are still champions. Just a really solid match, to be fair. It feels like Flair's having a lot more fun now. Obviously, I've kind of gone through that with her and Alexa Bliss. Obviously, she's having a lot more fun being with her. But yeah, it was just a great match, really. So next up, a few kind of behind the scenes promos and kind of things like that, which I'm not going to get too much into because they didn't really add too much. But there was one. Fatu is at the back. I think Rhodes is just walking through. Fatu comes up to him, talks about obviously when he becomes number one contender, he's going to beat him up. He's going to win the championship. And he's also from the local area. That's basically the whole gist of it. Then we have a Alistair Black, Selena Vega promo, which again is basically just like, I'm really dark, mysterious, amazing, and a lot of things to do with snakes. And they were like, we're snakes and we're poisonous and we're going to poison the WWE. Again, didn't really mean a lot really. The best of the bunch was the Miz and Sami Zayn promo at the back, where basically Miz is talking to Aldis and he's trying to set something up with him. It's not entirely clear what he's trying to set up, but he kind of alludes to, I'd imagine it's something with Carmelo Hayes. I'd imagine they're probably going to do their feud. Question is when is that going to end? Is that going to end in a pay-per-view match, or will that end in just a SmackDown match at some point? Like, it seems to be really going on for quite some time, and you kind of just want Melo to, rise up, because Miz is obviously not, he's just going to be that, mid-carder, therefore taking pins and things like that now, helping like the younger lot. And Carmelo Hayes has got so much, he's got so many years ahead of him, that he could go on to like the world title picture at some point, but at least, get him into the US Championship scene, especially with what's about to happen here, which I will go on to. But so Zayn obviously does his US title opening every week. Aldis has taken him off this week. Zayn comes in, he's angry, he's like, listen mate, I want to fight, I want to do this US title open thing, and I'm going to do it. And he goes out to the ring, and this next bit is probably my favourite bit from the whole of this SmackDown. So Zayn comes down to the ring, and he's waiting in the ring for whoever his opponent's going to be. And we hear Miz's music. He's got a microphone coming out. And I genuinely thought they were going to do Miz versus Sammy for the US title. Small inkling of me was going, what if they push Miz and he wins the US title? I don't know why they would have done that, but I thought it'd be quite fun to do. And then maybe you could have a kind of thing where Miz is like, I'm US champion, Carmelo Hayes, you suck, and you are never going to get a title shot now. That could have been fun, but don't get me wrong, I preferred the way they went. But yeah, so Miz comes out and he's about to go, saying, you suck and I hate your US title open challenge. And then Carmelo comes behind him, whacks him down, beats him up. And that's kind of it for them. It's just Carmelo Hayes beats him up and then they go, anyway. And then it's like Zayn's going, okay, well, who actually am I going to fight? And then what do we hear? But Ilya Dragunov's music hits and he comes out, and it's a return after like a year out, I think. I think he came back. I think he got injured sometime after kind of WrestleMania 40, didn't he? Maybe a few months after that, nearer when they did the draft. So I think that was close to it. But around that time, anyway, he got injured, and I think, at least SmackDown, but WWE has missed him. And you can see why from this match. I mean, what a match this is against Sami Zayn and Ilya. Like, just going blow for blow. There's a brilliant, I'll see if I've got it here somewhere. There's a brilliant spot where basically Sami Zayn reverses the H-bomb, which is like his fist coming down off the ropes, Ilya's fist coming down, and then Ilya goes into the corner. Sami Zayn tries to hit the haluva kick. There's another reversal, and then Ilya like hits him with a kind of like, I'm not sure. I think he just whacks him basically, and it's a near fall, and it was just absolutely amazing. So hard hitting, these two, and I think, I mean, maybe you could see them in a little while having that same match, but for a world title, or even having that rematch just for the US title on a pay-per-view would be fantastic. But anyway, we get to the end kind of point of the match. Solo comes out for the distraction, and I don't understand why wrestlers get so distracted by this, but he just looks at Sami looks at him, and Solo's like, nah mate, walks off. Sami then turns his attention back to the match, and to be fair to him, Ilya comes in, tries to hit him. Sami reverses, he does his fucking buckle bomb, I think it's called. Again, I'm not very good with moves, but he does his buckle bomb, sets up Ilya for a haluva kick. Ilya then comes out of nowhere, hits him with, I can't remember what it's called, but it's quite a cool move. H-bomb, pins him, 1, 2, 3. Ilya Dragunov is the new US champion on his re-debut, I guess, and it just, wow. Like, they've Triple H has just gone, I want this guy to be part of the future, and he's strapped a rocket on him. Could it have been Carmelo? Maybe Carmelo could have won this and they could have done something with the Miz or whatever. Yes, but it was a great surprise to see Ilya there, and I think it was definitely the right decision to take the US title off Sami Zayn. I don't think Sami Zayn should have had the US title to begin with. He should really be trying to focus a bit more on that main event picture, I think, especially with like the lack of main event stars that Cody can go against. I mean, obviously Cody and Sami probably wouldn't go against each other because it's face to face, but you've got McIntyre in that main event. I guess they tried to put Fatu in there, but obviously Fatu's injured. So yeah, I think Sami from now should maybe focus obviously on the MFTs, as we'll get to after this, and then the main event title picture, Royal Rumble in Jeddah, something like that. You should definitely be focusing more on that. But as I said, we'll get to the MFTs now because they come out. Ilya and Zayn are trying to show a bit of respect to each other, and they just beat the absolute shit out of them, basically. Ray Phoenix then tries to save them. Literally, like, I understand it's the uber baby face, you're trying to be brave or whatever, but you're coming up against 4 or 5 people, and I think he tries to jump in, and then this is what I've written here, which I thought was quite funny. The taller Tongan Talatonga just grabs him by the throat, just rises and just choke slams him down, and it was like, oh well, there you go. Thanks for the help, Ray. And Solo hits a promo, just reminding everyone they're the best, obviously. They run SmackDown, all that kind of good stuff. The lights go out, and we get a little promo video from, I was going to say Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas. It's basically just saying all this cryptic stuff. I couldn't honestly understand a lot of the words of it, but just this like cryptic message. Lights are still down, and then we see the rest of the Wyatt Sicks up on the ring apron. MFTs turn around and they do a standoff, and it's just like, please, please give this match to me. I mean, that could even be a War Games match if they found like a female to go in MFTs. I mean, Tamina's doing nothing. Not that I want Tamina to anywhere near this kind of thing. Is she even still employed? I don't know, but I was just thinking she's Samoan, right? Why not? But yeah, that would be really brilliant if they managed to do that at some point. Maybe not Survivor Series, but then you don't want it too long. But I also like the idea of, because obviously Solo's talking about he wants the championships to go back to his family. So Solo goes for the World Championship. I mean, who could you do for the... One of them goes for the US title. Wouldn't mind Tama Tonga. You could do JC Mateo as well. He's got quite a decent... is it Round the Islands or something like that move, which I quite like. And then you could just have Tama Tonga and the big dude, Tula Tonga, just for the tag belt. So maybe that would work better with Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. There's so many, like I get confused by them, but that'd be good as well. But we'll see where they go with that. I wouldn't mind that at all. But as I said, favourite part of SmackDown this week, really great. Just everything's coming together now. Obviously, you've got like the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, which is a bit like naff, and doesn't really matter. And now they're getting back into storylines. So this was just a whole brilliant part of SmackDown this week. Right, so next backstage, we've got Kathy Kelly interviewing Tiffany Stratton, basically obviously saying that she lost to Stephanie Vaquer. Has that affected her in any way? Tiff's like, nah, mate, because she's obviously the best. And then Kiana James comes in and is like, you suck, Tiffany, and Julia's better than you. And then Tiffany's like, are you better than me? Because you don't wrestle. And then Kiana's like, yeah, I am. And then Tiff's like, I'll prove it. And then they've got a match next week, and I don't really care. To be honest with you, I love Tiffany as the champion. I think she's great, but she really doesn't have anyone that I care about wrestling. You know, to wrestle her. I mean, where's Bianca, I guess, but maybe she's injured. I don't know. Again, I don't really know anything if it's not on the WWE Raw or SmackDown or whatever, so and maybe I've forgotten that. But yeah, just where's the heavy hitters? And I don't want to see her face Jade Cargill again. So yeah, Tiffany really needs something, but I don't think fighting Kiana James next week is the one. I mean, maybe it leads to a Julia feud, but then you want Julia's US title to be taken off her, and then where does that go? I mean, the only place really I think of would maybe put it back on Chelsea Green, but you didn't really do much with her in that when she had it. So yeah, this whole women's US title has been really, really bad, to be honest, and I really want them to pick it up and do something with it. Just anything, just give us content is what I'm asking for, WWE. But after that, anyway, we have another kind of behind the scenes thing. So this was from earlier today. So you've got Motor City Machine Guns, MCMG, celebrating that they've now been a year in WWE. Honestly, I thought it'd been longer, but yeah, a year in WWE. And then Los Garza, obviously the best tag team of all time. They come in and they're like, you guys have done absolutely nothing. And then I was just thinking, you guys have done absolutely nothing. Like, you guys suck. They've won the titles. Like, MCMG have won the titles. Like, I can't remember. I might be wrong here, but I can't remember Los Garza having the titles ever. Like, maybe they might be doing stuff with AAA. Again, I don't really watch it, so I don't know. But from a WWE perspective, you guys suck. But anyway, I think they said basically MCMG's first match was against Los Garza, where they won. So they're going to do a rematch of that and make it a yearly annual thing, which, like, don't bother. None of us care too much, or at least I don't. But they have the match, and there's not a lot to say about it. I mean, obviously it's a great match. You've got 4 great wrestlers in there. MCMG win. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about it. Really, it's just a cracking match. It makes you think, should some of these tag teams go to Raw and spice that up a little bit? I mean, Raw tag teams, what do you think? You think Judgment Day? I guess Alpha Academy, American Made, but they just don't do anything. Like, just do stuff with your tag teams, Triple H or Raw. But and after that, sorry, we have another tag team thing. So Fraxium are watching that in the background, watching the MCMG Los Garza match, and they're going, why can't we need to just go beat someone up. David Fraser, I think, says, why don't we just go punch someone in the face, which I love. And then you have DIY come in, they're basically just like, you guys are stupid and you suck. And then I think, what's her name? Is it Candice LeRae? Goes, they're saying something about, we need to find like a stupid mask. And then Candice LeRae is like, I know where to find a stupid mask, and looks at Axiom. And I found that really funny. But I quite like his mask, to be honest. So, I don't agree with you there, Candice. But anyway. And then I wasn't really sure where that led, but I think they're going to fight next week, I guess. Which, again, fine. Like, it's great to see, like, good wrestling, I guess. But just give me something to care about it for, I guess. Like, I just want to... Yeah, I just want to care. Right, so lastly, we have the main event coming up, and I'm all geared up, excited. In the back of my mind, I am obviously thinking, I did see that Jacob Fatu was injured. So I was wondering, like, what was actually going to happen. And just as I'm wondering that, Jacob Fatu's music hits, but you get like a behind the scenes man running with film camera kind of thing, and Fatu's like bloodied up. He's got this like construction thing on top of him, pool of blood next to him, a few teeth knocked out. And I was like, it looked really graphic, like compared to kind of what I expect so much when I think about WWE. I mean, maybe I'm still stuck in the mind of me growing up was with like the PG era, Vince McMahon, kind of everything's, sunshine and rainbows. So now seeing all this kind of like blood and things, it's like, wow, that's a stark difference. But yeah, then Nick Aldis goes over to Jacob and he's like, who did this? And Jacob's like, don't know, bruv. Drew McIntyre, being the absolute don that he is, his music just hits and he comes out and it's like you watch Nick's face and he's just like he's just like, why is Drew coming out? Anyway, Drew comes out and he's doing this whole thing. He just does not care about Fatu being injured or whatever. Comes into the ring, and basically says, right, well, obviously he can't fight me, so by that point I win. So ref, raise my hand. Ref's like, no. And then Aldis comes out and he's like, I know you did it. Right? So you don't get to win this. Like, I will sort this out somehow. The big question, I guess, is who's better GM, Aldis or Pierce? I mean, it must be Aldis. Pierce just kind of makes things up as he goes along, and he just seems to have loads of chaos. Aldis seems a little bit more like he seems a little bit more like he has things under control, but as I was saying that, I was thinking they are just kind of like make-believe actors, so I don't even know if I'm debating it. But yeah, if you have an opinion, let me know. But anyway, Cody comes out and he's like, you know what you did. And he goes, you won the #1 contenders match, you got it. And he just runs down to the ring and honestly beats the absolute living hell out of Drew. Drew, and you got to imagine as well, Cody, he's not in like his ring gear or anything. He's in this nice jacket, he's got a nice shirt on, belt, trousers, like nice shoes, all that kind of stuff. And he's just beating Drew to a pulp, really. Just beating him around the ring. We get, I think there's an ad break here or something, so that kind of gets cut off. I don't think the match is official until we come back, because I think Cody pulls him into the ring. They kind of both stand in opposite corners and the match is official. Cody goes, ring the bell. Which again is really great, like, character work for Cody there. Like, I think Cody's kind of gone, he's spiraling. Like, I was half expecting in his crown jewel match with Rollins, obviously Rollins wins by hitting him with the watch, I think, where obviously Cody got him for WrestleMania 40 or whatever. So half expecting Cody to grab the watch and hit him and then win. I thought that would have been kind of a cool way to further Cody's character of becoming a total arsehole. But basically that is what Cody's doing, is becoming a total arsehole, which is just so great. Like, I guess for me, I love heels and I love evil people and I love villains. So seeing that kind of slow meld into a bad person for Cody is just really, like, it's just really good storytelling for me, and I hope that they actually pursue it and they turn him heel at some point or whatever. They got to, you know. I don't know if Cody wants to do it or whatever, but they've got to do it at some point, right? Anyway, what was I talking about? As we get to the kind of the end of the match, Drew throws Cody over the corner thing. Timekeeper's over to the timekeeper's area. Drew goes to grab him. Cody comes and just whacks him with the title. Obviously, bell goes. Cody's disqualified. That does mean Drew picks up a win over the champion as well, which I would assume might lead to an actual title match between the two. Which I don't know. I mean, I kind of don't want Cody as the champion at WrestleMania. I would rather have someone else, and maybe Drew could be that person. But then it's kind of, who does he go up against? I guess we'll find that out. But yeah, so that happens, but Cody's not stopping. Like, he's just beating him up and beating him up and beating him up. And he's going to try and put him through a table just before Aldis and all the WWE officials stop him. And they grab him and they separate them away. And I think that is the end of the match. The end of the match and the end of the show. So overall, really, really good SmackDown for me. I've really enjoyed it. I think the MFTs are fantastic. Solo's being fantastic. I do like him being a bit goofy every now and then, and he might be able to bring that into his character, but him also being like a crime boss badass is really interesting. And I'd like to see where the MFTs and the Wyatts go, and I'd also like to see where the MFTs and kind of like the good guy groups go. I think, I mean, obviously something's going to happen. One way is going to lead to War Games or whatever. But we shall see. The women's title, the women's tag titles, I want to kind of see more of a direction for them. At the moment, I guess everyone's pretty happy with the fact that it's just Charlotte and Alexa, they're defending. They're happy, it's like yin and yang, whatever. Maybe that will lead to a match between them two. Obviously, I don't really want them to break up. They will obviously eventually, but I would just like to see them go against other teams. But I guess they probably need to create teams before they do that. But yeah, a solid show this week, and I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you enjoyed about it. Let me know if you agreed or disagreed with any of my points in this video. Also, obviously, remember to like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I'm going to be doing SmackDown reviews, Raw reviews, and I'll be doing pay-per-view reviews as well. I'm also planning on doing a thing with wrestling wise, where my brother has been out of wrestling for a long time. So we're going to watch from 2022. We're watching all the Raws and SmackDowns together, and then I'm going to sit him here with me or somewhere with me, and we're going to review the pay-per-views coming up. So it'll be for the last few years, all them pay-per-views we'll review, and we'll see what he kind of thinks is going to happen. And what he kind of thinks of the wrestling and stuff and the difference. He was a lot more of a TNA guy. So look forward to that. I think that'll be really good. We're obviously going to start with the 2022 Royal Rumble, which obviously, maybe if you like wrestling, you'll probably know what's happened, but he's got no clue. So yeah, that'll be exciting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another one. Thank you.